Auckland pea den is busted by police.
They had a ramming things, and then next minute you hear the door smash open.
The neighbours warned the tenants were trouble.
We told you this was going to happen, like we told you.
The total repair bill?
100,000.
So where was the property manager?
What am I paying them for?
Plus, a breathtaking hidden fee.
Oh, dearie me.
An $1,100 refund fee for an oxygen machine has left her gasping.
I was just absolutely amazed about.
And the flat pack that fell, well, flat.
All it was doing was taking up space in the lounge.
There's plenty of parts, but something's missing.
I didn't have any instructions.
That's not ideal.
I'm scared that I'm going to muck it up.
Kia ora, welcome to the show. Home ownership is fast approaching an all-time low.
There are about 1.8 million homes in New Zealand, and 33% of those, that's just under 605,000, are rentals.
More and more landlords are using property managers, but how much bang do you get for your buck? Here's Garth.
It's 20 to 8 on a wet winter morning in Auckland. That's the drug squad coming up the driveway.
Then there's this banging from next door.
A security camera catches the police arriving.
Banging, and all we like, what you see is police running up. They had a ramming, like those little ramming things, and then next minute you hear the door smash open.
The people inside number 2 are getting a big wake up right now. But next door,
We were standing inside the house going, we told you. We told you this was going to happen, like we told you.
so when the drug squad broke through that front door and came into the flat, they found 2 men inside. One of them in here at the kitchen sink dumping a white powder down the plug hole. Another one in here in the laundry, shoveling cash into the washing machine. That's not how you launder money. Down the hall, in the bedroom, a woman with more drugs and a lot more money. It's impossible to tell now, but a year and a half ago, this flat was a hub for anyone here in Hillsborough with a pee habit. It had been let to a woman who, it turned out, was already facing charges of helping to run a pee house in Wellington. Here, the police seized over $70,000 worth of cash and $13,000 worth of methamphetamine, and there were heavy traces of it left on the walls and the floors and the fixtures. None of that could be cleaned up properly. It all had to be replaced.
So for me, that's the worst thing that's ever happened in all the years I've been renting.
Esther owns the flat, but she lives in Christchurch, where she helps husband Paul with their business breeding and growing peony flowers for weddings.
It's very easy to drop these seeds.
But there's been little peace for Esther lately. The damage done by that tenant in just under 3 months and the bill to make it right have left her shaken.
The decontamination was about 24,000, and there were no shortcuts with that.
That was just the start. In total, the rebuild has cost her
100,000.
But what's still upsetting Esther is the feeling she was let down by the property manager.
Oh, very abysmally let me down. Abysmally, yeah. And they don't care.
We hear all the time about how tough it is for renters, but landlords can be caught out badly too. And the advice is usually find yourself a professional property manager. Let them do the worrying.
Barfoot and Thompson.
Esther thought she'd signed up the best. Barfoot and Thompson were recognised as the world's best lettings agency at an awards ceremony in London last year. It was their Mount Roskill branch managing her investment property. We had some questions for them. The branch manager referred us straight to head office.
Methamphetamine is a scourge on our society, not only for users and their families, but also for our landlords and tenants.
We're not going to argue with that.
While we take all reasonable, practicable and legal steps to minimise the risk to our landlord clients, it is a risk that unfortunately can never be eliminated.
But did they really do all they could?
When an allegation was made of potential drug use, we acted promptly in seeking proof of the allegation, so that if it were true, we could then take action.
Barfoot and Thompson insists that allegation was only made to the company 2 weeks before the police raid.
A formal inspection was then scheduled at the first possible opportunity, and matters moved quickly from there, with a police raid which then allowed the tenancy to be terminated.
They offer sympathy, but no apology. So you've got Barfoot and Thompson saying our property managers did all they could as soon as they knew. And the neighbours saying, oh no, we told them straight away those tenants were trouble.
At the beginning we call every single day, and it was like twice a day, 3 times a day. And then after that, like after speaking to him every other day.
Amrita and Dorothy used to flat together next door. They say the trouble started with parking problems.
We couldn't get in the driveway, we can't get out of the driveway. That's just the beginning.
Supposedly the flat had only one tenant.
It was pretty crowded. Yeah, there's a lot of just coming and going at whatever times, 3 o'clock in the morning.
So when the neighbours complained to the property manager about this place, they pretty quickly got a lecture about their own parking arrangements and whether that wall up there is strictly legal and a bunch of other stuff that seemed a bit of a red herring considering what these guys were up to. Because Amrita and Dorothy say they also made it clear then to Barfoot and Thompson that there was more.
Marijuana, the aroma of marijuana wafting into our house. I told him about the dogs, the marijuana we could smell, the incoming cars at all hours of the night, people knocking on the doors and stuff, everything. We told him everything.
But they say Barfoot and Thompson weren't having any of it.
He was saying it as if we're just making up this whole story about drugs, but he got so angry. And that's when we said, send someone and you'll see what we're talking about.
Barfoot and Thompson says that is not correct.
Had the suggestion of drug use been raised beforehand, we would most certainly have investigated it.
The neighbours say they kept trying to make that happen.
You're like, hi, it's us again. Can you pass the message on again? We're trying to get hold of someone. It's us, you know who we are. We ring all the time. We didn't stop. We don't give up. How many times do we have to call? No one's going to help us.
The parking problems continued. Another neighbour caught it on dash cam. In fairness, they never showed the property manager. The lease said only one occupant allowed and no pets. Barfoot and Thompson took the tenant's word there were no mutts. They checked to see if there was anyone else living at the property. They say their inspection found no evidence of any illegal activities. But when the police raided here, one of those guys turned out to be the tenant's partner. He'd moved in. He's now bunking at the taxpayer's expense after being convicted on those same drugs charges. Barfoot and Thompson says when it screened the tenant,
Robust reference checks were carried out, including 4 verbal references, a Google search, a Tenancy Tribunal search and 2 Tenancy Information New Zealand searches. There was nothing at all in any of those multiple checks that raised any concern whatsoever.
Other property managers swear by using social media when screening, and one look at that tenant's Facebook page shows you this, a picture of a home detention ankle bracelet apparently worn by the tenant. Barfoot and Thompson says it wasn't picked up on this occasion. Knowing what she knows now, that the neighbours say they repeatedly tried to raise the alarm, Esther is furious that none of this was ever passed on to her.
If I'd known something, I would have actually flown up there. I thought if they can't sort it out, I'll have to sort it out. But what am I paying them for?
This whole messy business has destroyed her faith in property managers.
All property managers seem to say, we'll care but no responsibility as far as damage by tenants. But then I think they've got an obligation to do their job. They haven't been negligent, those were their words. They haven't been negligent, whereas they've been negligent the whole way through.
Man, Esther was restrained, wasn't he? 100 grand, I would be ropeable.
Yes. Now, look, anyone can be a property manager. You don't need any qualifications or registration. It is a free-for-all, which seems a bit ridiculous to us, given the value of the properties they're managing.
If you do need a property manager, we reckon you ask the same questions you would of a prospective tenant. Where are their references? What are they promising to do? And how quickly can you ditch them if it all goes horribly wrong?
Right, coming up after the break, a hidden fee that will take your breath away.
But I thought, wow.
How much should it cost you to change your mind?
An $1,100 refund fee for an oxygen machine has left her gasping.
I was just absolutely amazed about.
And the flat pack that fell, well, flat.
I bought a $420 bookcase and that didn't have any instructions.
Welcome back. Now, if you are a frequent online shopper and you've bought something that doesn't meet your expectations, you probably know all about restocking or shelving fees.
You get hit with them when you change your mind and apply for a refund.
Now, most of us don't mind paying a couple of bucks, but how about $50, $100, $500, or even $1,000?
Yowzers. Here's Anna with one of the most outrageous restocking or shelving fees we've ever heard of.
Clever girl, come on.
Shirley Barrett's got a pretty good life.
Let's have your food up here.
Most days she spends in the garden,
Pretty girl.
hanging out with her mates. But feeding the chooks has become a bit of a hassle for Shirley. You see, she used to be a smoker. For how long, Shirley?
Oh, I hate to tell you that. I really do. Probably about 45 years. I don't know why I smoked all that time. Got no idea.
She quit nearly 20 years ago, but the octogenarian's now reliant on oxygen 24/7.
I always find that the little trolley that I carry it on is a bit cumbersome and awkward. And if I have to go up and down the stairs like I do here, it's heavy.
Now, Shirley's pretty tech-savvy for an 87-year-old and loves the internet.
Oh, yes, I love it. I love it. It's great for me, looking up things of interest and recipes and email to my mates.
So she went surfing the net in search of an oxygen solution.
I saw on the computer that there was a new kind coming out. The weight was the thing of interest to me.
Shirley had found this, the G4, a light portable machine, just what she was after.
The thought of having that little thing was just really wonderful for me.
She bought it.
It was too expensive for me, let's be honest. But I thought, wow, let's be honest, I'm at the end of my life. Why not have that little bit of comfort and pleasure? So I managed to wangle some extra bank money and bought it.
Shirley spent nearly $6,000 on the machine and a spare battery, all bought from this company, EMEC Medical in Porirua. But when it arrived, things weren't quite right.
I couldn't wait till try it out, and I put it on and went out to my garden, and I didn't feel as if I was 100%.
Shirley's oxygen level had dropped dangerously low.
Way too low.
Shirley tried again the next day, but things were no better. Now, Shirley didn't think there was anything wrong with the machine, it just wasn't strong enough for her.
It was very disappointing. I was really sad because I'd put so much faith in it and thought, well, this is just going to be wonderful. So reluctantly, I sent it back.
And EMEC agreed to give Shirley a refund. After waiting a while, Shirley emailed EMEC to ask about the money. Finally, it came through, but there was a catch.
The refund was sent, less a shelving fee of $1,100 odd, which I was just absolutely amazed about. I couldn't understand it. I had not been told at any stage that there was a shelving fee involved.
Shirley was being charged more than $1,000 to return the machine.
I just couldn't believe it, and I sent an email back to her, you just must be kidding. What's this? A shipping fee? A shelving fee? And what's a shelving fee? And she said, yes, you have to pay that. I have never been, I just was so upset about it, really and truly I was.
The Consumer Guarantees Act means EMEC didn't actually have to offer Shirley a refund because there was nothing faulty with the machine. But, and it's a big one, the company should have warned her before she sent it back that she'd be charged a restocking fee. If you're going to return something, you should know about all the costs before you send it back. We wanted to talk to EMEC about this, and at first they responded by email to say they had told Shirley about their restocking fees. But EMEC wouldn't provide us proof of this, and they wouldn't return our calls or any of our follow-up emails. And when we went to visit EMEC...
Hello, I'm Anna from the Fair Go program. Is there anyone in charge I could talk to? Please to talk to Phil about it.
Well, we left a card for Phil, but he didn't come back to us. So we went looking for EMEC's registered owners. But working out who actually owns EMEC's proven a bit tricky. The company's not registered in New Zealand. It's a trust registered in Australia to members of the Exclusive Brethren. Being registered by a religious organisation means the company wouldn't have to pay tax. We haven't been able to talk to EMEC about this. The Exclusive Brethren tend to not associate with people outside their own religion. They still haven't returned our calls or emails, and they still haven't provided any proof that they did warn Shirley of the restocking charge.
I think it's more than an excess, it's just ridiculous.
Shirley reckons the fee wasn't fair because she didn't know about it before sending the machine back. The Commerce Commission agrees Shirley should have been told about the fee before returning the machine.
That, as far as I was concerned, was not on.
Shirley's filed a claim with the Disputes Tribunal. She's waiting to see if EMEC responds.
Oh, dearie me.
Wow.
Have I got this right? Have they got the product back? They've tested the product to make sure they can sell it again. They've put it in the box, they've taped up the box, and they've charged someone $1,100.
Doesn't exactly seem reasonable.
Whew. Coming up after the break, have we discovered the ultimate flat pack challenge?
I bought a $420 bookcase and it didn't have any instructions.
Freestyling the assembly is never a good idea.
I'm scared that I'm going to muck it up.
Which is why we've called in the experts.
Never been beaten so far.
And we go shopping for answers to a perplexing problem. A driver following you as you walk back to your car so they can take your car park. Is that cool or creepy?
Welcome back. Tools, time, some wine, they're the must-haves when assembling flat pack furniture.
And so are instructions. And if you want to stay sane and avoid that creeping sense of frustration, it is best to follow them to the letter.
But what do you do if there are no instructions? Believe it or not, there are some manufacturers out there who think freelancing the assembly is a good idea. Despite appearances, there is no peace at Hiria Tarangi's house. Look at her. Even the most inattentive male could tell she's not happy.
No.
It's her feature wall. It's featureless.
When we got this house, I was like, great, I need a great big bookcase because I've got a lot of inbox or mint inbox collector's edition.
These are her collectibles. They should be high on a bookcase, but they've been grounded and there's already been collateral damage.
When you've got little ones as well, they want to touch.
Darth Vader's lost his lightsaber. Jem's boyfriend.
Rare. And he was absolutely hot.
He's smiling, but he's nervous.
I'd just like a bookcase, really. That's just the end goal. And I thought for $420, I'd get a bookcase that worked.
The bookcase that isn't is down the hall, past the sleeping teenagers, hidden away in a corner of the garage. There it is, a $420 tower of flat pack.
All it was doing was taking up space in the lounge.
It's 52 pieces of wood, a couple of hundred screws, bolts, nails.
Like I'm supposed to be a carpenter.
Now Hidia can flat pack. She's done
something like 2, 4, 6, 8, about 10.
She eats off a flat pack.
The hard part was putting on the tabletop because it's heavy.
Sleeps on a flat pack.
That was a really big piece.
Little tables.
Tables were really easy.
Drinks tables.
The coffee table was really easy.
Shelves. 2 of them.
We know how to put things together, but I wasn't quite sure on this one, so we went looking for the instructions and we couldn't find them.
You heard right.
I bought a $420 bookcase and that didn't have any instructions.
So Hidia is stuck, too afraid to start nailing and drilling.
I'm scared that I'm going to muck it up.
Hidia brought off Trade Me member Value Tree. Value Tree is Wendy from Wellington. She sells everything. Bikinis, mankinis, this thing, that thing. All up, they have 3,500 items for sale, including this rather stunning 16-cube bookcase, which does warn, assembly required.
And I thought for $420 odd, I'd get a bookcase that worked.
So Hidia left feedback on Trade Me. It was quite direct.
I asked specifically, how long will it take to put together? They said not long. There are almost 100 screws. What the if I wanted to be a carpenter, I would be.
Mostly it was to encourage them to contact me.
Since then, they've traded emails. Hidia asked for the instructions. She got these photos and this note.
We think you can install the whole unit well with our help. Maybe you just changed your mind and didn't want to keep it after receiving it.
They really tried, but that doesn't tell me which piece goes where.
Like most online traders, Value Tree has no phone number, no, that's not going to help, or physical address. But Emma from Value Tree did answer our emails.
And tell you the truth, we have sold many of these units and most customers had no problem with its assembly. You can believe that the assembly is not too difficult.
Value Tree do have 99% positive feedback and they did offer a $100 refund after they got an email from Fair Go. But none of this gets Hidia's bookcase built. Which is where Johnny from Kitset Assembly Services comes in. He puts together flat packs for a living, even the ones without instructions.
Never been beaten so far, and it's not going to happen today either.
He offered to do it for free, and he didn't muck around. His first step was
always lay out all the parts and pieces before you start.
Then Johnny screwed, nailed, and screwed some more.
They're looking really good.
It took nearly 2 hours. There were heaps of pieces left.
So don't be too worried if you've got a few spare parts left over.
In the end, Hidia from Whitby got her flat pack unpacked.
Just another day at the office, mate.
That's pretty damn cool.
She says next time she'll go and talk to a human.
Yeah, I really should have done that.
Live and learn.
Yeah.
The only online buying she'll be doing is second-hand lightsabers.
That was massive. massive.
Yeah.
2 hours it took the professional. Would have taken you what? Still be on the floor in pieces, I reckon.
Probably. You laugh at your own jokes.
Right, moving on. We get lots of questions coming through the Fairgo inbox, and sometimes, to be honest, we just don't have the answer.
So we've headed back to the streets to put a couple of those modern moral dilemmas to the people.
Summer picnics, backyard cricket, time by the water, what's not to love? But when the weather turns to custard, the mall is a great place to seek shelter and hit consumers with some cool, creepy questions. First up, a driver following you as you walk back to your car so they can take your car park. Is that cool or creepy?
That's cool. I do watch for people coming out, especially on a day like today where it's packed.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. Yeah. They're just getting a car park.
Yeah, we'd call that creepy.
Creepy, so okay. It does have quite a lot of them.
Whereabouts?
Anywhere, any car park that's full.
About there. It might happen every now and then. Probably when I leave here, I'd say.
Yeah.
They're definitely okay.
I've done that before.
Yeah, I do that. I usually pounce on them.
Sometimes you ask them, excuse me, are you going?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Have you done it yourself before?
Yes.
This definitely has the potential to go into the creepy category when you are laden down with shopping bags and someone is just very slowly following you through a car park.
Is this a thing?
That's the
I
thing.
thought this is just good comedy. We're in the provinces, we park outside a shop. We're in, we're out, we're home for dinner.
Nice for some. Right, before we go, we got loads of feedback about Matt's ice cream story and his campaign for a standardised scoop. Here's a taste.
Buying ice cream in a cone can be a lot like fishing.
So good.
Depending on that scoop size, you never really know what you're going to get until it's in your hot little hand. Have you ever bought, say, a 2-scoop ice cream and looked at it and gone, that looks more like one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You too?
Yeah.
We decided to test the cone ice cream market to see whether dairies were dishing up a delight or a fright.
That is supposed to be 2 scoops of ice cream.
2 scoops of ice cream!
They're dreaming!
You guys have had a lot to say on this, and so has Tip Top. They told us, we think scooping ice cream is a bit of an art, but with respect to size, it is not quite as simple as you might think. As a rough guide, we think the ideal size of a scoop of ice cream is about the size of a tennis ball, which Pippa is modelling right here.
That is right there. I think that probably seems about fair. My kids wouldn't complain about that. Now, they also say we work with retailers on ensuring we deliver consumers a high standard product. We leave it up to them to choose how they size their ice cream scoops and therefore how they price them.
So that's the show, but we're always keen to help right some wrongs.
So if you've got a gripe or grumble, you just need a bit of advice, drop us a line.
We're on Facebook, or you can email us, fairgo@tvnz.co.nz, or you can still write to us. Happy to get your letters. Private bag 92038 Auckland. The postcode is 1142.
Well, thanks for watching. Until next week, Pomari Air.